right, everybody, today we're talking about what it means to be an adult piano student versus a kid and a piano student. Now, there's this major misconception that's really popular that kids are better at learning new instruments than adults. It's not true at all. Adults are way faster at learning instruments than kids, but sometimes kids can be better piano students than adults are. And if you're an adult and you understand the difference between the kid and adult students, then you can learn way faster. You'll be a way better student. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the differences. So the first thing is that kids, when a teacher tells a kid, hey, great job, as they're learning a song, they usually believe it because adults know everything in their world and nothing all at the same time. But adult students generally are like evaluating themselves. So you're playing your song, you know what it's supposed to sound like, and you're going, that kind of sucked. And if your teacher says, hey, great job, you're not like, oh, I must have done a really great job. So adults evaluate themselves a lot better than kid students, which means it's really hard to motivate adult students. With kids, you can say, hey, great job, give them a sticker, and they think they did a great job and they're gonna go home and practice. Adults show up to the lesson, they screw up, and they know they screwed up. Another thing that often makes kids better students than adult students is that kids are content to play the same stupid little song over and over and over. So, you know, if you're just starting out on piano, a great song to start learning how to play is, or something like, right? And so you sit a kid down, you know, 7, 8, 9-year-old, you sit them down and have them play that song, and they'll practice that over and over, like trying to win this game, trying to conquer this thing. An adult like plays through the song like they're struggling, having the same struggles that a kid has, you know, just trying to make your fingers do what you're telling them to do. But you know, the adults like getting frustrated because they don't even want to play the song in the first place. They just want to be done with this stupid stuff and start doing the stuff that sounds cool. So as it turns out, kids are a lot more patient in that way, that they don't mind playing the same stupid little thing over and over. Another thing kids have going for them that you're gonna, as an adult student, need to find a way to work around is that they have the advantage of parents who tell them over and over and over and over to practice, right? And so hopefully your teacher is kind of motivating for you to practice, and the threat of a lesson of being accountable for what you've been working on, that will hopefully help you to practice. But you know, kids got to, like, you get home from school, you do your homework, you do your piano practice, we have dinner, you go to bed, right? So you're gonna have to try to like find a time, like carve out a time, and then just do that consistently, you know, 20 minutes, 10 minutes after I get home from work or before I go to work or whatever it is, right after dinner, and have that time carved out, and as if your parent was there making you do it, just force yourself to sit down and spend that little tiny bit of time. Now, this other thing that kids have going for them kind of goes across the board, and that is kids are used to being absolute failures. I mean, they're not good at anything until they practice it a whole lot. So in their life, they're constantly failing at things and trying again and failing at those and trying again until they get this thing right. And as adults, we're generally avoiding the things we suck at, and we kind of excel at the things that we're good at. And so we just kind of segment our lives off that way. And so in that way, when we pick up something new, whether it's piano or a new language, whatever, like, we're used to mostly succeeding at stuff. I mean, even if you feel like a failure, you're avoiding the things that you really, really, really fail at, right? And kids just don't have that. So they are more willing to screw up, and that's something that you just absolutely need as a piano student. If you're going to be a good piano student, you need to be able to screw up and then go again, because that's all you're going to do during your practice time. It's constantly screwing up. If you're not screwing up, it's time to start practicing something harder so you are screwing up. So if you can't come to terms with constant failure, wow, yeah, then don't take up piano, I guess, or any other instrument for that matter, because you should always be practicing right on the edge of, you know, here's all the stuff that I can do, and then here's all the stuff that I can't do, and always right on that edge, just constantly messing up until you don't mess up anymore, and then you take the next step. Another thing kids have going for them is that in general, their repertoire, the songs that they listen to are relatively simple. You know, songs from the cartoons that they like, or the movies that they like, or the video games that they like, or just the stuff that they're singing at school or wherever. Generally, those are a lot simpler songs. And so adults come in with like this list of, music superheroes that they want to like be able to play these songs, and kids kind of come in with their list of like, here's what all my friends would think would be cool if I could play these songs. And so generally they're going to be able to accomplish their goals a lot sooner, even though, again, let me point this out, kids, if we went for the same song, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, sit a 30-year-old down, sit an 8-year-old down, that 30-year-old is going to just kick butt, right? They're going to be able to accomplish the same things way, way faster. So you're actually getting better as a pianist faster as an adult, but just depends on, of course, where you're setting that bar for good as to how long it's going to take you to get there. One last thing I want to point out that kids have going for them that adults, like if you can just prepare yourself for this, again, you're going to be an awesome student. You just got to know that going into it, kids also have this thing where when they play a song, they're more easily impressed with themselves. They play the song, right? And they're like, hey, that sounds like a song. Like, I know that song. And in their head, they're like, filling in the rest of the band. That's the song. And they show it off to their friends. And like, I look at this thing, I can make this thing happen. And generally, adults aren't going to be real happy with the song until it sounds exactly like the recording. So they're not filling in any of the stuff in their head. When they play that just sounds like individual notes. There's no band playing behind them. There's no impressive anything. So in general, adults, again, have to go a lot farther before they're impressed with what they've come up with. But let's talk about the role of the teacher and what a teacher can do. So there's a few things that a teacher can do. A teacher can provide inspiration. Teacher can provide accountability. So that's, again, that whole thing of like, you got your lesson coming up and you got to practice. If you haven't practiced for the entire 2 weeks before your lesson, you're going to practice, the last couple hours before your lesson because you want to impress your teacher. So they can inspire you to practice, to get better. They can hold you accountable for the stuff that you're doing. And hopefully they can give you some guidance. And this is like, I think what most people go to teachers for, but it's actually a really small part of what teachers do. And that is, you've got this body of information that you know what all of this is, and then there's like all of the rest of the magic of music that's out there that you don't know about yet. And so hopefully the teacher can help you get to the rest of that stuff a little bit faster by using your practice time more effectively. So guiding you in your practice time. But honestly, your practice time is really what's going to make you better. The teacher, if you've got a really awesome musician, just they can cook on any style, in any genre, anytime. And if they don't inspire you, if they're not guiding you in your practice time and helping your practice time be better, and if you don't feel that I got to get better because I got to show off for them, then it doesn't really matter how good of a pianist they are. By the same token, if you got a really crappy player, but you really want to impress them, and they can help guide you in your practice time to use that time most efficiently, they're going to be a better teacher than the other player. So keep that in mind when you're looking for a teacher. You want someone that you're going to want to try to impress and that can guide you in your practice time and help you make your practice time more efficient. This last point's the most important. Failure, meaning messing up, playing the wrong notes, is never a matter of lacking brains. It's always lacking practice, right? So adults have this thing where they sit with their teacher, they know what they're supposed to practice, they go home, they try to practice it, but it's just not happening. And they understand, I'm supposed to play that and then those together. And I'm supposed to play that one and then those together. But they mess up and they play that one and that one, no, I'm supposed to play, no, I'm messing up all these notes, right? That's totally normal. It just means that your brain hasn't sent those signals to those muscles enough time to make those ruts in your brain where it just can do that thing back and forth over and over and over. So again, failure, you're messing up your notes, is never a matter of lacking brains. It's always a matter of lacking practice. If you can remember that and you can be okay with messing up your notes over and over and over until you finally get the stuff right, and you can carve out a time to practice each day, get in your 10, 15 minutes, an hour or 2 hours would be great, but just that little bit of time each day, and you can keep in mind that you're getting better at a faster pace than any kid is going to get good, and that it's not a lack of talent, it's just a lack of practice time. You put in the hours, you're going to get there. You're going to be awesome. So good luck, have fun.